Boy, oh boy, we got some mods to take a look at today. What a day! 25 mods released. All platforms got 21 new and 2 updates, and PC Mac players got 1 new and 1 update. Check those timestamps. I think this is going to be a long one. We also got 2 new maps today as well. Those are going to be at the end of the new mod section for all platforms, so if that's what you're looking for first, you can feel free to skip ahead. Otherwise, let's start with vehicles. So time to rock and roll. We got the John Deere 8R 2022-2025 US Series from JHHG Modding. In a sea of green, it is easy to pick out with those big old LSW tires on there. We got a start price $210,200. 326 horsepower, but 458 at the top end. Of course, you got that 410 on there. PowerShift transmission, 727 liters of fuel. However, you do have a variable transmission on some of the engine options. So you can kind of go through and find what works best for you. As far as other specs, 31 mile an hour max speed and weighs 12.5 tons. Wheel brands, only a couple of them here. You've got the Lizard set, you've got Michelin, and you've got Continental. The Lizards are just going to be your LSWs. You can either go with those with a regular or a weight setup. So that is very cool. If we pop over to the Michelin set, so through here, you're going to see a lot of stuff. So we've got the 30-inch row crops, and it just kind of goes through all of the different sets, whether you've got weights, whether you've got extensions on there, whether you've got your dual sets, etc. And then when we go up to the Continental, this is where we get into basically the same thing, but in a 36-inch set. So if the crop that you're running requires a 30 and you want to do it right, you know which to choose. You got your Michelin, and if you need 36, well, you got to go with your Continentals. I prefer the Continental dual row crop with weights on the back. Double weights. Love this thing. And then the front, you got a weight bracket. You can run up to a nice big old 2200 kg weight, and you can also run a 3-point if that's something that you want to do as well. We do have one animation on here. We are able to raise and lower the front. We got the kneeling on there like you normally would. However, everything else is pretty standard up on the inside. Kind of take a look at all the goodies. Yeah, looking fresh. I don't believe this has IC or anything like that. At least it doesn't say, and mine's not turning on right now. So all of us there. Also, with duals, sometimes you get a pretty rough turning circle. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at all that movement between those front duals. I love it. This should statistically be the worst turning, and it is amazing. I love it so much. Next from Ross and Mods, the JCB Fastrac 3000. If you're like me and you really wanted to like the JCB 2000 that came in the DLC, but, well, you don't, then this is the mod for you, and I'm going to be adding this onto my series immediately. Man, so this bad boy, we showed it off a couple weeks ago in a new mod preview video, so check that out. If you haven't seen it already, I did pin it to the community post tab thing, so check that out. We do have window control of either on or off, and if you go with off, you will have interactive control setups for that. I've already shown those off, but you are able to change a few things up with IC, which is very cool if you're on PC. Engines between 195 and 230 horsepower. Wheel brands on a Trelleborg, Continental, Michelin, Midas, Vredestein, BKT, and Nokian, not in that order. Did get that a little mixed up. We do have some nice twin wheels on there. This one, though, just a heads up, the twins are a little tight to turn because this only has front wheel steering. Moving on, we got beacons on here, a couple different setups for those. Big fan of the clear ones, so that is very cool. And then we even have the light bar setup. LED strobes, you can add those to the front, to the back, or to the both. And then we have a GPS, which is added there as well. So that's kind of neat. You had a standard set or even the John Deere Starfire system on the inside. As far as your horns, you can add those on top if you'd like. CB radio on the inside, kind of wiggles around, very cool. And then we even got some mirror covers on there, and even some like chicken lights on the top. Very cool. Agricultural frame, drops the frame on the back. We don't have anything that goes on those yet. However, Mr. Ross is working on a few things, so that is very cool. And then we even have front loaders on there too. But that's not all. We've got colors. So if you wanted to change this thing up or maybe make it black, you can do that. One of my favorites is a dark gray. And then you've got grill color, grill 2, mirror guards, and rims. So you can really take this thing and turn it into something cool looking. They're a little bit different. I like it. Blinky blinkies! Always like running some blinky blinkies. Strobes on the front and the back. Always very nice to see that. Lights all the way around. A bunch of lights, man. We got an animation for the side door. We've got animation for the rear window. And and it looks like that's it, at least for here. And driving around on the inside, looking fresh here too. Again, this is not an all-wheel steer machine. It is front wheel only. So heads up with that one. It's not too bad. JCBs have never been amazing when it comes to turning, so there's that, but it's not terrible. If you wanted to steer very good, I would recommend against duals. If you need a JCB that needs duals, maybe get a hold of his JCB 4000 and run some all-wheel steering on it. But that one is pretty darn cool. And our only other vehicle today, the Lizard Trold from AgriTulno. So here we are, 104 horsepower on here. We do have an automatic or manual transmission, although it will always say manual for whatever reason. I don't think it was done correctly, but that happens with a lot of mods. We've got Lizard setups for tires. We also have a Midas set, BKT, and a Nokia set. And with these, you can change the rim that you like. But also, couple of these have different wheels as well. So you go through, you find the rim that you like, and then you kind of keep scrolling and you find the tire that you like. You may see some of these only have the one tire. I'm a big fan of the Midas setups. I think those look very cool. BKT as well, but the ones that are really focused here are the Lizard set. So you've got kind of a chunky boy set, I think I would call it. Then you've got kind of more of a mud and Martian kind of thing right there. And then lastly, we go down to a run flat, which John Deere mowers have made pretty popular. Then we get into the handlebar, which actually doesn't change the handlebars a single bit. It's the headlight on there, so there is that. Auxiliary lights at the front. You can either run rounds or a LED bar. Bumper setup, of course, you could throw that on the front as well, which is very nice. Hand guards, those actually do change the handlebars a little bit. That's where I would have put those. And then we've got the snorkel, which I called an exhaust when in my early look at this. And I apologize, I'm the idiot there. I think these look bad, so I'm just not going to put those on there. Radiator, another thing that I think looks absolutely ridiculous on there, but you can have it if you would like. Front headlights, you can either take those and make them down to little squinty eyes. Exhaust setups, these are on the very, very back. We start off with left, which is actually not left, it is right, and then right is left. But both is both, so that's wonderful. We're just going to do that so the ADHD and OCD doesn't kick in. Exhaust materials as well. You can change those up so you can actually see them if you would like. We do have all of the camouflage options that AgriTulno presents. We've got axle width setups here. We got a couple different ones for you for that. As far as attachments, we have a 3-point on the rear, on the side, or both. Works really nicely with precision farming. And we've got tension belts, so you can actually put up where the grills or grid things are going to go there. Then we get into colors, and I have to take my camouflage off because I can't show you the colors without. So there we go. As far as your main color, of course, that's going to be your body. Suspension is what it is. Handlebars, side, seat, grip, front guard, and rims. Now with this bad boy, we do have a couple animations, and one of them you may not know what it is right off the bat. So this does include the wheelie thing, which I don't know why they keep including this. It's never worked in the history of mankind. No one's ever been able to do a wheelie with this. It's terrible. Why do we keep including this? It's junk. We also have suspension which go up and down, which is very cool. Actually, it's a little bit softer all the way down, so if you like a softer suspension, maybe drop that thing down a little bit. Seeing the flex is a little bit much, but we're not going to show the flex because it's not worth calling home about. And then if we change into our gear right here, look at that, it looks like I got a helmet on. This right here actually allows us to change the view here, so you could set this perfectly. I like all the way back and all the way down. I think that works best for me, but of course we are not wearing a helmet at the end of the day. Now let's talk tools. We have the John Deere 561R round baler from Custom Bonding. Been a little while since we talked about this, and it's been out on their mod stuff since what, the beginning of October? End of September, somewhere around there. So it's been about a month since they released this for PC players only on third-party sites. However, it is here now for all platforms. Really not going to talk a whole lot about it. We're going to talk about a little bit of the limitations because we've already talked in depth about the baler itself. So what you need to know, 120 horsepower is required, makes between 150 and 180 centimeter round bales. However, those are not the bales that you're looking for. These are custom bales. So there's not much out there that's going to do anything with it, but there are two things. So I want to show it to you. Also, we're showing kilometers and miles on here. I think we could probably take both of those off and be all right. As far as the accumulator, if you want to put the accumulator on the back, add that in, and it adds it accumulator ready. Actually takes away a few bits and bobs, so it makes it nice and cheap. You can also run your round bale net. Make sure you add that in before you buy it so that it's already there, and then you get a silage additive tank on the front if you need it. Then we have the accumulator itself. This is one of two mods, I guess, that will auto load these. So number one, if you don't have this, you're probably going to be manually loading. If you want to auto load, you're gonna need the fiber dash. So naturally, you're gonna be running this thing like a normal baler. So if you got a field full of grass, straw, hay, whatever you got, bale it up like normal. On the back though, this is pretty much an auto load trailer. If we look up here in our control groups, see we've got the turn on automatic drop, but we also have the operating position set up as well. So we wanna make sure that we do that. So number one, see here, we can open up the cover. Pretty cool. I like that. I don't know if that was in the version we had. It's changed quite a bit since we did previews. I probably need to start pushing my custom modding previews back about 2 months from whenever they send stuff in. But there you go. We got our operating position. We're going to turn on automatic drop. There we go. And we are going to go ahead and make some bales. We'll start off with the 150 centimeter bales. First bale is done and it is out and it pops. So it looks like it's kind of dropping it right there and then bringing it back. It's not going to do a nice little animation out and about. Second bale, there we go. I'm cheating these in, so that's I don't expect much. Yeah, there we go. All right, so there's our bales. We've got those, and now we need to click unload. There we go, and then we're gonna bring the platform back up, and we have to set up operating. Sweet. So now here's our bales, and these are 150 centimeter round bales, and that's all well and good. However, this is the base game bale that we've got right here. We're gonna bring this over so you guys can see. That's the 150 they made, and this is the 150 we've got in the game. Now, are the wider big bales pretty normal here in the States? Yeah. Are these more normal in Europe? Yeah. But these are the base game. These are custom. There's gonna be a lot of people, hopefully if you're watching this, you'll actually know what to do. So we'll put that over there. So apparently this mod pack right here is the only one that actually has setups for running the auto load. So we jump over to an auto load bale. We are getting a lot of different bale sizes with this, which is very, very nice to see. However, I think this is the only one that actually will auto load these in. I think he put them in last minute, which is very, very cool. Let's see, we got it set up. Let's just go with like a bumper pull. Can we do a bumper pull? Negative. Well, that's all right. Let's just hook it up to base game truck and we'll be good to go. So setting this up, going into operating position here. And we're just gonna go past these bales real quick to make sure that everything loads. And yes, they do, but you can see they are hanging off the sides a little bit. So if you wanna auto load these bales, you will need the fiber dash. Then if you want to wrap these bales, you are going to need the custom bale support pack from BB Mods. I know to do one, you got to have a whole bunch of stuff, but I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what's up. So you should be able to use either this guy right here or this other bale wrapper right here, which is the one that I would go for just because it's a little bit easier to run. So we'll grab a hold of it, and I got a couple grass bales up here, although I'm not sure I should have put duals on this. That may not be the best thing to try and run a bale wrapper with, but we'll bring it up anyway. And there we go. So these are some custom bales, so having the custom bale support pack is definitely what you need. So there's that, there's one of them, and here's our other one. So that's a lot of stuff just to be able to handle this. There is no other bale wrappers that I know of. So if you want to wrap at all, you will need that pack. Nothing's been provided by custom modding. Except for the custom bale sizes. Cool baler, love it, it's pretty awesome. Would be nice if these stickers were removable. We don't need both of them. And these chains will stay in place visibly whenever you dump the bales out. Other than that, I think that's everything I can think of. Additionally, there may be other bale trailers or bale wrappers that do support these bales. However, at this time, I do not know what those are. Next from Agritono, we have the John Deere RDF 30, 35, 40, 45 header pack. Yeah, 9.2 meter, 10.7, 12.6, and 14 meters respectively. So some different sizes in there, which is always very nice to see. You've got a US or EU setup on there. We also have the air bar on the front. Gotta love that. Cutter side nozzle right there, so you can do the canola setup. And then you've also got colors, which is really cool, really nice. I changed that up, and I don't know what I've done. Oh, it's the air bar, isn't it? Sure is. Yep, check that out. Let's go with a red setup for that. Definitely looks weird, but it does allow you to change this up, which I'm a big fan of. I always like being able to set up your own thing. Boom, like that right there. That's classy, baby. Nonetheless, you can check these out. Let's see, what does it set up for the combinations? I'm sure there's some mods that it works with, but right now it's just saying the base game S7. Our next one's from Carl TG. They say it's the old log trailer based on an old Asian logging trailer. This one is really meant for smaller logs going side to side rather than long logs going from front to back. We have a couple wheel brands that you can choose from, and then we got colors all the way around. Even got these logs set up as the legs there. I think that's pretty cool. Next one on our list, the Rudolph Welger DK280RA trailer, 18,500 liter capacity. We do have an extension, which will pop up to 24.5, and we have Continental, Trelleborg, BKT, and Vredestein tires with a couple little setups here and there. We can change up the extension at the top, but about that is it. It does have a 3-way tipping function, which is very nice. So you've got the back, the grain door, or the side. As you can see, this massive setup here on the side. And lastly, we have a trailer hitch, so you can run multiple of these together. Another trailer, we have the Lizard WS 130DG. We've actually got a PC version of this today as well, the Weckman WS 130DG. So that trailer will show up at the very, very end of the video. It's the only new one we got for PC and Mac. So if that's you, just heads up, a version of this with a different logo. That's it. We've got an extension on here, so we could go from 7.9 thousand up to 18.3, which is always nice to have. And we get to keep all of our same customization. So we'll stick from there. Wheel brands from BKT and Vredestein. We do have a couple different designs, which is going to change up the colors and the logo type on the side and the back. Pretty cool. Trailer hitch on the back, always nice to have. We got a cover there, and we have IC if you want it. However, IC should really just be on the PC version. Console players don't have access to it, so it does no good. We do have the cover color, which is always nice to see, but doesn't look like we changed the extension color or any of the other colors. Next, we have the Streumaster FW 212TD. Man, none of that mod name rolls off the tongue, does it? Well, it's not actually the modders doing there. It's actually the base game's doing, because we have this in the base game, but with a crane. We got it a couple updates ago in one of the free content updates. However, they have taken that, removed the crane, and then released it as it was. We do have the Bauer tuning, or Baron tuning, on the top. I guess from 15,600 to 18,600. So I guess it allows you to have a nice heap. We do have a couple wheel brands to choose from. It is Chunky Boy City. And then we've got all kinds of colors for the tub. Very nice to see there. 15 to 42 meters, and it does solid fertilizer or lime, which is nice. For something like that, though, very high capacity, a high-ish price, but it's not too bad. And this is what it's based on. Just to refresh your memory, this is the one that we've got where you can actually pick stuff up with it and drop it in. And of course, with the version we got, they've removed all of that. Next is a subsoiler, the Lizard G7 Chicota. We actually got the PC-only version of this yesterday. The Latapia? I don't know how to say any of this. It's a subsoiler. It's a 90 horsepower required 2.6 meter subsoiler with colors. And a windrower, 4.4 meter K-brand GA4521. So this bad boy right here does have reflector add-ons, which is always a nice thing if you're going to be transporting, and you've got lights as well. Plus, main color, hope you like red, because all of them are red, but they are different shades, different styles, so you are able to go through, choose ones that you like. They're all colored or called red, but if you want something that looks a little bit more worn, I think a mod like this would be great for those of you playing on something. Maybe you're using some shaders, or maybe you're wanting to do a little bit more of a deeper role play on like a European styled map. This probably a good one to start with. A couple rollers, the Lizard RingRoller. I also like with these how they're kind of positioned up on some wood blocks. Very cool through there. Does say RingRoller on the side there too. No color option for these. With it being a Lizard, I would have expected those, but alas not. 2.5 meter working width on that one, or a 4 meter working width on this one. Horsepower is very low as well. 60 horsepower required, Next up, got a pretty big mod pack for you. This is the Crude Oil Production, and this allows you to do a couple different things. It takes a couple different ways of extruding crude oil. We've got ways to transport it. We've got ways to make money from it. All the things, and plenty of sell points, even a purchase point if you just want to buy some of it. There's a lot going on, so let's simplify it. Very first thing, productions. What do we have in productions? Well, we have a couple different things. We've got the oil well pump right through there. Behind it, we have the big oil pumps. Both those are going to do the same thing, just differently. And then we have a couple different ways to refine. So we have the small refinery here, and then we have the medium refinery up here. Of course, for selling it, you will need to sell it after you've done that and all of your products. So we've got this one, the average purchase of product sales for the crude oil. We also have a small one here as well. And we have one over here where we can actually purchase it. This, I think, let's see. I'm not quite sure if that's a place where we could buy it or sell it. It says buy in one and sell on the other. So you never know what to believe. Additionally, if you go over to generators, you could buy one of these guys, which makes you $7,600 a month, and it costs 80 grand. So it's going to take just over 10 months for you to make your money back, about 11 months, and 11 months is pretty normal for all of the generators. Then to transport everything around, you will need some trailers, things like that, so they've provided those as well. These are going to be found in the mod hub, so make sure you guys go look for those there. Of course, down through here, we can see all the different products that we're going to be having with these and all of the modded stuff as well. I always like the empty oil barrels. I think those look pretty cool. You could fill them up. So let's go in order. We need the oil pumps. So as we can see through here, we've got different setups. Your old well pump is going to take 318 and turn it into 318 72 times a month. However, our big guy right here is going to take 15 water and 5 diesel and turn that into 248 times per month. So better deal there, but it is more expensive. So there is that. Then from there, we've got our crude oil, whichever way you decide to go. Then we need to refine it. And when we refine it, we can make a couple different things, including bearing grease, diesel, gasoline, kerosene, LPG, motor oil, and paraffin. So there we've got all of those, whether it be in the small or the medium set. Pretty much numbers have been doubled roughly with the medium to small. Taking a look, diesel, for example, you've got 318 crude oil turns into 100 diesel 168 times per month. So that's quite a bit. Good amount there. I don't think you're going to be going through that much diesel, but if you wanted to have your own, you can do it. So hopefully that all simplifies it. So if you just want to sell back crude oil, this is the place to get. So this sell point will do that. However, these sell points here sell all kinds of stuff, including the products made from this crude oil. So hopefully that simplifies it. It's a pretty cool pack. It gives you like 2 options for like everything, which a lot of mods don't do, which could make this a little bit busy and a lot going on. If you just look at the mod description, you'd be like, which is exactly the way I looked at it at first. However, hopefully that'll make it pretty easy for you guys. You've got a entry-level way to get in and then more of an industrial level setup. So you do have some room to grow and a way to improve and upgrade as you go along. Next up, we got a chip factory. This is Lusitanis Chips. Did I say that right? I don't know. If you're looking for this in the mod name, Chip Factory, it's not. It's not called Chip Factory. It's Luso Chips. Yeah. So now it's down near the bottom, at least for me. See up there, we've got all of our setups. Boom. Right here's where everything is going to spawn. If we spin around towards the back, this is where you drop everything off. And this is where we see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. So we got beetroot chips, carrot chips, parsnip chips, and regular old potato chips. Nice. At least we don't have onion chips yet. We have carrots, parsnips, potatoes, red beet, and sunflower oil in. Everything is made with sunflower oil, so you're not going to be choosing different oils. Kind of cuts down on the craziness that you have in here. And all of those will turn into something. So with beetroots, obviously red beets, carrots, parsnips is parsnips, and potatoes is potatoes. Nice and simple. Another production, what feels like our 50th fertilizer production. So here it is. They've changed the name by removing the space between fertilizer and production in the mod name. Quick spin around to see everything you've got. Should get a pretty good idea of what we're going to be doing here. So let's take a look. So we could do solid fertilizer, and there's one way to do it. Manure slurry, and straw. And that makes us some solid fertilizer. So you're going to be putting in 1,000 liters of manure, 500 liters of slurry, and 1,000 liters of straw. And out, you get 2,000 liters of fertilizer. And that's going to happen 240 times per month. And cost is also very low. I mean, like ridiculously low. If you guys got any pigs, or maybe you've got some cows and they are producing a lot of stuff, this may be a great thing to invest in. I like this because it's small, looks a little bit older, which is always nice. This may be something very cool to put on the new Kinlig map, and maybe put down a custom sell point so you guys can sell solid fertilizer. That's not too bad. And now let's talk about some cows. We have the large UK indoor cow barn. Another one that may be fun to put on the new map. I've been looking for a cow barn, so maybe this is it. Although it holds 150, and I would like for it to hold 150,000. Food is at 35,000, straw's 21,000, manure's at 60, and slurry is at 56. I didn't put any animals in here. I do apologize. We kind of take a look at it right through here. We see all the stuff there. Might get maybe one cow. Put one cow in here and see what kind of trouble we can get into. I do like that we can open everything up. That is super duper nice. Yes, okay. We can do milk. Milk is on the outside. Do not worry, homies. Yeah, we'll still put one in there nonetheless. Let's see. Do we do a... Nope. Looks like that's locked. Did you know that the Highland Cows was unlocked? At least on Xbox, it was unlocked before the DLC came out. Wild, man. Absolutely wild. So there we go. We got milk in there. This is 0 liters. Let's see. Let's run back in here and see if it tells us our milk. Milk is 33,000. So it's not going to hold a lot. However, it does do all the things. This works with everything. No colors as well, so I'm not changing any colors. We also have the metal CowShed. You can change this whatever color you want. I thought blue might be interesting, so I changed it up to blue. Moo indeed, my dude. So in here, you're not able to open up anything, but it will hold 25 cows. Believe it or not, 25. For once, I think that's too many for something, but hey, I ain't gonna say nothing. Moo indeed, my dude. Now let me do my job here. So in here, we've got, let's see here, 50,000 for food, 60,000 for milk, 100,000 manure, and 100,000 for slurry. So if you're like, wait a minute. Yes, this holds more than the shed that we just looked at. Moving on. Moving along, the American Old Garage for $20,000. Looking very fresh. Loving the big panel lights on the inside. Take a look, see we've got some lights going on here. It's going to be using the B button or circle if you guys are on consoles, so not the left stick like some things do. We do have lights on the outside as well. However, those are going to be automatic, and I know that because it's from Patty and Icus. I should have known. Of course, it looks good. This is also a building that we can change up a little bit. So let's see. Let's click on it. Nope, it's not letting me do it. Anyway, we can go in here. We got colors, so you are able to change up your color setups, whatever you want. We have blue for the last one. Let's get Massey Ferguson red. That is what that is going to look like. And your last mods before we get into the maps are the ESC Sheds. With these, we've got some big old stuff. So, I figured these were a little bit too big to put them all down, so we had to put them over here. We do have a couple different setups here for the walls and for the material that the walls are made out of, which is very nice. And you can also change the color of those. So super duper cool. You can see like right here, we've got a fully enclosed shed if we want. So what you're doing is you're basically buying the outside and then you get to customize it into whatever you want the outside to be. Inside? The frame. You're buying the frame, man. Here, we'll do it with this one as well. So we've got, let's see, the nest setup is a little bit of an extra wall there. More walls around. Very cool. Option 10, which doesn't seem to be doing much. What did option 10 do? I don't know. However, option 21 looks very, very promising. So we'll go with that. And how about we do a toothpaste tractor? Of course. Looking fresh. There you go. So we've taken the shed, which was a big old open shed, and we've turned it into a big old closed shed. There we go. One button for that. Got to open up both doors, and now we have this humongous indoor covered area for whatever you need. And so many bright lights. God. That is so bright. All right, now we got a couple maps to talk about. Hazelnut Farms from Nuclear Salmon Shanty Boys as well. So this is nestled in the rolling hills of western Kentucky, a tranquil paradise where farming dreams come to life. As per most Shanty Boy maps, there's always some interesting stuff going on, and I'm digging it. So here we've got some logs that are kind of dammed up a little bit. Here's another really interesting waterway setup. Always love that. Houseboats, of course, over there. That's super cool. And it said that there's not one, but 3 barges on here. Here's 2 of them right here. Where in the world does that one go? So this one goes straight across, obviously. Where is this one angled? Is it coming over here? No. Kind of neat seeing 2 ferries right beside each other, ain't it? Oh, this one's hanging out because we got a boat coming. That guy can make it just in time. And not this one. They always wait on the boats coming through. So we will see if we can remember to come back over here and check that one out. Well, slowly but surely he's coming out of there, but I don't know where he thinks he's going. I probably should have hit that way earlier. Oh well, we'll let them slide. There's also one more down here as well. So that one's just gonna hit straight across. And we've got a bunch of cars lined up for some reason. Well, that had nothing to do with me, so I'm gonna get on out of here. Obviously, plenty of open spaces, plenty of trees to cut down, although the trees really aren't logging trees, so you may need some mods to help you cut those down to make a little bit of a profit. Well, wherever he's going, that is going to take some time. He is stuck behind the slowest driver on earth. Anyway, we'll take a look at the PDA while we wait. So I've become obsessed with that barge. Here is your PDA. No new crops. I do find it interesting that we do have some crops growing in the ditches. Yes. They're growing in the ditches. I don't know why, but it's interesting nonetheless. So through here, we've got a couple areas that we own. We actually own the area all the way around it. However, we do not own the fields inside of it, only one of them. So there is that. He's trying. You know what? I actually found where it's go. Really, dude? That's awesome. No, I found where the barge is going. Right here. Just so we're clear. That is up here, and the barge starts down here, and it's right here beside that big old boat. It's got to go all the way through that dam, or the lock right here. That's very cool. I've never seen a barge going that far before. That's awesome. Yeah, if you're going to click that, though, just double check to make sure that nobody is coming down the river, because you are going to get stuck. Oh, that sucks. Be better off sneezing your way. You'd have more thrust. Nonetheless, let's take a look at what we've got. So this is around the area of the farm where we start off, which is very nice, very cool, looking good. All the equipment is around here, and pretty much everything you need. You will find some hearts all the way around. Now, I'm not quite sure the reason for the hearts, but I do know that the map was dedicated to one of the modder's fathers, so maybe that is why. And as I was mentioning, you will find things in the ditch. So here you've got some grain crops growing in all the ditches, and I don't really know why. I wonder if this was supposed to be one crop, but for some reason it turned out to be another. It does seem weird for like wheat to be growing in the ditches. Whatever this is, that makes more sense. But the wheat, not so much. I guess it is what it is. This is where you're going to start off, by the way. We are way up here, and this is where our house is. We actually don't own the land that this is on, but our house is here. So you can see there's our sleepy time trigger. And our truck. We do get a soccer ball across the way as well. Checking out our barge, see how we've come. It is finally moving at full speed. Full speed ahead, baby! Yeah! Rock and roll. As for everything else, because we've been playing around a little bit, unfortunately, here is your crop calendar. Of course, as I said, no custom crops, so nothing wild and crazy there. We do have, 15, 25, 31 cattle. Very cool through there. Here are all of your contracts. I did fast forward time about 3 hours in the game once I jumped in. So we do have some nice harvesting contracts. Not on super massive fields, but good enough. And we don't own any production chains, but there is a bakery, canning factory, cement factory, grain mill, and oil mill. And you can place down anything else you want as per usual. And lastly, here is all the equipment that we own. I'd like to go through this with you guys, just so you know what you're going to start with in new farmer mode. There are some things that I would expect to see, some things that I did not expect to see in here. Overall, pretty good, man. Pretty good indeed. All right, before we jump over to the last new one today, a new map. I did want to check out the barge one more time. That's so cool, man. And your last new one for all platforms today is Erlengrat 2K25. So this has been a, basically it's a replica of Erlengrat from Farming Simulator 22, which was introduced as a mod map, or part of the base game. I think it was a base game, actually, which was a DLC map in Farming Simulator 19. And if you're like, hey, don't we already have this? We do. We actually have like 2 or 3 modified versions of this that have been shaped up and changed the way people want. Most recently, the map, the Alps by Lamai, they done a really, really good job, and kind of the version I wish Giants would have made a few years ago. But really not going to go through a whole lot of this, to be fair. We'll kind of glance over stuff, but it's Erlengrat the way that it was. Yeah, and that is literally it. I don't know of any special features. The mod description is super short as well. Original Erlengrat converted from the FS22 model. In addition to standard fields, meadows are also now defined as fields, which is a big deal. I will say that. 25 fields with a total of 60.41 hectares, 12 meadow areas, which are absolutely massive all the way around, with a total of 115 hectares, almost twice that of the fields themselves. 2 gas stations, and various cell outlets and production facilities. Bam! So, that is pretty cool. I do like that the grass fields are set in stone, because you had to plow these up previously, which stunk. No new crops, as you would expect. Here is what everything's ready to go. I hope you like mowing. I do, so maps like this are really fun for me, especially with the non-squared off fields. Always a good time. As far as our hotchpotch, there we go, farmland. We do get 1 field as well as 1 grass field, and then our main farm. Main farm comes with farmland 43, and then you could buy 30 as well, and then just kind of expand out from there. As far as your crop calendar, don't expect a whole lot. There you go. It is does appear to be changed a little bit, maybe moved over. Is it just me? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm not sure. Animals here, we have 20 cattle, all of different ages. Here are your contracts. We do have a lot of them. And again, mowing. Hope you like mowing. I have turned off my contract boost mod. You can see this $51,000 to mow that. Take that in a heartbeat. Yes, yes, yes. In here, no owned productions, but we do have the BGA, whatever that is. Yeah, there we go. I think they forgot to do this. It's you know what that is. Why can't I remember what that is? The dairy. Come on, DJ, get it together. And then we jump over here to vehicles, and you can get an idea of what to expect in New Farmer. Yes, yes, yes. We have some very cool and very different equipment being shown off here, and I love that we've got all kinds of new and different sets of equipment, and even the dirt bike popped up right here, right beside the bicycles. Pretty cool. Only a couple updates today for you guys. We have the Lizard AgriFlex SPB, the self-propelled baler version 1.1 at the bottom. They've added an AI bumper. We've got the Flex Chopper 460 and Flex Mower 500. Added support for chopping and baling chaff. Added support for soybean straw and corn stalk custom bells on supported maps. And Vic's Chrome Colors preview icon. So let's take a look at part of this update. So we've got their Flex Chopper 460 here. Just looks like a normal forage header. I love the color options on here. Very cool. We do have a standard working width of 4.6 meters. We've also got an 8 meter setup, 15, and back into it. And then we've got different decals as well, including a couple different lizard ones. This bad boy will chaff up quite a few things, and it will even do wood chips and cotton. And the good thing is the AgriFlex does wood chips and cotton bale anyway, so that's awesome. We've also got a mower setup right here as well. This is pretty standard mower. You've either got a setup for 5 meters, you've got a 10 meter, and a 15 meter setup there as well. Additionally, you do have the setups for warning stripe or accent or design colors, so you can change those up if you would like. Very, very cool. And then we have the AI bumper. Now I'm sitting here talking to BB Dude as recording this video, and then we've got a 5, 10, or 15 meter working with by default, but of course, as you know, you can change this up to whatever you want. Basically, this allows kind of whatever you hook it up to work with AI. It is mainly made for this guy so that it will actually go through and bale with the worker. But without it, it won't do that. You'll have to do it all yourself or use something on the front. But I was thinking you could probably utilize this for something else. Put it on the front of a tractor or something like that. I was thinking carting. Carting kind of sucks sometimes. So this would allow you to hook it up and not have to use one of the mods that has the AI in the trailer. You can put this on anything. Very cool. Also, I want to rephrase, when I'm talking about using this for carting and that kind of thing, I'm talking about using this for GPS on my end. If you've got a regular tipper trailer hooked up to your tractor, you're not going to be able to utilize any GPS. But if you go with this, you can. You can also hire the worker, but they're not going to do what you think they're going to do, so just don't do that. And one more thing. So don't forget the AgriFlex SPB right here. This is pretty sweet because this can cut and bale chaff without a header. However, it is limited to a 3.2 meter working width as shown right down here. So if you didn't want to use any headers, this is technically a combine cutter baler combo in the file. So this will cut and run chaff and things like that by itself. And the only other update for all platforms is the drink production. This will be version 1001 at the bottom. We got 4 bug fixes, so the drinks can no longer be loaded into the trailer, the drinks can no longer be loaded into the farm silo or the train, and the logos on the console are no longer displayed with a black background. Your only new one for PC and Mac players, as we talked about, was the Weckman WS 130DG, based on the Lizard version that we got today. Configurations, you got your extension up there if you like it, a couple different wheel options to choose from. Designs here, of course, same thing. We even have the Tutti, very nice, very nice. Door setup, standard set for the back, trailer hitch, of course, and we do have the IC, which makes perfect sense for a trailer like this. And lastly, today, only one update for PC and Mac players. We have the Valtra Valmet Series 8X50 version 1004 at the bottom, the Vic Shadow on the steering wheel, and added a wheel configuration narrow 2.25 meter. And there it is, goodness gracious. I told you it was one heck of a mod day today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did, get subscribed if you're new, and join DjGoHam. Bam! Double check your notifications that way you never miss videos like this one. I've also got a mod preview out this morning showing off the Colossus pack as well as the Kinsey Planters pack from Chris S. and Riley S. They are supporting onions and a whole lot more, so make sure you don't miss it. And I should have one more goodie for you a little bit later today, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one.